our three-star classes here during the Silver Oak Jumper Tournament. Charlotte Jacobs regains the top position in the Open Jumper Rider Bonus leaderboard with an impressive 14-point lead. Kathleen Driscoll and Francisco Goyuaga close out the podium placings and joint second with 49 points each. Alex Granado currently fourth at 48 points, and R.G. Ingalls sitting fifth at 46. So just a few minutes away from the top of the order. Expecting to see 60 here in the first round of today's $117,000 welcome stake. A few riders in the field today. Our top three riders from yesterday will highlight ahead of our start, including number 7 in the world, McLean Ward, took the top call yesterday in the Stormridge Capital Speed Classic. 20-time World Cup finalist and the winner in 2017 with H.H. Zur. Took the win yesterday with Robin Pesky's First Lady. And McLean will have two mounts today as well. Yesterday's winning mount, the mare First Lady, as well as the 10-year-old Gelding Kimi Del Marseille. Number 15 in the world, Connor Swell took second place honors yesterday aboard a Vital Chance de la Roque. And the Irishman, World Cup finalist in 2022 in Leipzig, where he finished 8th overall with Count Me In. The 17-year-old Gelding Count Me In will be one of Connor Swell's two entries today. And the other rider will come early in the order with the 11-year-old Gelding Castellano. And a third-place rider from yesterday.
Very good afternoon and welcome to what's coming up. It's going to be a fantastic day of competition here from Traverse City. The 5-star World Cup welcome stake. And as you're seeing through what's going to be a very big field over this jump-off course. Course is designed by Alan Wade alongside Nick Granite, Ireland and the USA teaming up. And it's been a good start to the week for the man who's 15th to go in this class, McLean Ward, winning yesterday in our opening speed classic with First Lady. Further down for early group, and taking us to close to halfway in this class, Abdul Saeed of Belgium, who's made the trip across the United States, and then a number of the home contingent as well, including Sarah Happy and Oscar A and Charlie Jacobs and Kenzo Quality Z. On to Irish combinations, and Connor Swale was very much in the mix yesterday with Count Me In this time around in this class. Several riders with a couple of rides in this class as well. And it'll take us on through the likes of Katie Dine and McLean Ward's second ride. Kimi Del Merced coming later on at 43rd. Kent Farrington, second spin there at 45th with Myla. And then down to, again, second runs for Elise Oaken, who'll actually be our first to go in this class in the opening stage. Alex Granato and El Diablo de Lourdes will go 58th of the lineup. Again, their second ride. Daniel Blumen also in the mix as well. Several of the world's top 20 on the Longines rankings are part of the classes here this week as part of this Longines FEI Jumping World Cup show. And as I say, designed by Alan Wade of Ireland, assisted by Nick Granite of the United States of America. Time allowed of 74 seconds in this opening first round over the course set here. A beautiful afternoon here in the Great Lakes up in Michigan, and first time for this Longines FEI Jumping World Cup here in Traverse City. And what a fabulous venue it is. It's been developing over the last 10 years, celebrating that anniversary this year, and continues to grow and grow. So very literal warm welcome. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon. Clear skies up ahead, not literally a cloud in the sky above us, just a little gentle breeze, and we are just literally within striking distance of the Great Lakes themselves. It's a holiday spot through much of the summer, and now just as the leaves are starting to turn as we head into the fall, we are looking for what is going to be top competition coming over the 2 weeks here in Traverse City. This week the focus on this Longines FEI Jumping World Cup, with the World Cup itself here on Sunday as well. So let's prepare for the playing of the national anthem and continued build up from our arena team. We're moments away from starting the $117,000 welcome stake. Making their way down then, our very first to go is the first of over 60 in this second class of the week in terms of the 5-star competition. 61 is the target, and this time around, unlike yesterday's Speed Classic, it is a jump-off class, so clears going on to that jump-off. And I'm going to stick my neck out and say clears because we've had a high-class lineup, and it's highly likely we'll get a few of those in this class as well. So overall, 13 numbered fences on the course here over Alan Wade's track, and so the time allowed of 74 seconds. Elise Oaken the first to go. Several in here with 2 rides in the class as well. Elise goes early and then a lot later into the mix, so she'll again have digested how it's gone, but starts off on what's been a fantastic ride for her in Gelvira, 13-year-old by quality time for the High Hopes Farm of Charlotte, North Carolina, and the US rider gets to be our trailblazer here this afternoon as part of this Longines FEI Jumping 5-Star World Cup week. Starts at the Southern Arches vertical, then to the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Oxer at 2. 160 spread there. Turn back here to then a related line to the Just World fence. Should be 6 strides down to the Swan double of verticals there. 8 meters 30 distance between those two. 5 up to the UBS Oxer. And just right past the in-gate with slightly offset from the wall. Double down there with the Longines fence, and then very quickly come into the 4 strides up to the vertical at fence 8 at 155. Turn back to skinny sunflower fence in the bright colours at the next, and then onto the Liberty fence after that. Just rolls the second part of that double. Just coming into this final line, and then the cherry fence to the cherry coloured poles to finish off, 70.42, and leaving them just on the 4 faults there for Elise Oaken and Gelvira this time around. So inside the time allowed of 74 seconds, easily enough, and nicely done by Elise Oaken to start us off, but just with the 1 rail down on that surface. So from Elise Oaken to Chris Uwanowski now. Again, for those not familiar with the venue here in Traverse City, we've been having shows here throughout the summer months as well. And so there's been a fantastic tour of shows here taking place, starting with the Spring Series back in June. Chris has been one of those that's been a regular here in Traverse City over the years. I've been north of Michigan, beautiful, as I say, holiday spot, golf courses, swimming, boats, everything you can do here and enjoy throughout the summer months. But Great Lakes Equestrian Festival that included the nation's competing for the Young Rider Youth Championships. Just gets a little deeper into the second there. Early rail on this 12-year-old gelding. Chris been at some of the shows here in July. They have a long list of 2- and 3-star shows then. Some years even dropping a 5-star into the mix in August. Coming home on the 12, step up for this horse. Again, being in the 2 and 3 stars, actually competed in the 4 stars down in Florida to kick off the year here as well. So just again moving them up a gear here. 16 this time with 4 down at 72.24 for Chris Uwanowski and Condor du Vel d'Orcy. Moving up to Caitlin Campbell now. Caitlin, the US rider Castlefield Cornelius, 30-year-old by Kornet Oblensky. Jumps the first couple without any too much trouble. Number of riders very familiar with this venue, and again, bringing us into a venue, unlike some stages that we'll see throughout the World Cups, that's a permanent venue, so again they get to compete here previously, although say it's going to be very much a different mix of fences, of courses over this week as well. But there's a nice bit of familiarity to it as well with this well-established site. Nicely down there on the 4. Just patiently comes down to the Liberty Oxer at the next. Final fence looking good, time-wise okay as well, 72.75, and good start for Caitlin Campbell. Gets clear round number 1 of our group so far. I feel we might have quite a few in this class with a big contingent coming forward and the sheer quality of what we've got to offer this week, but it is clear round number 1 on the list. Caitlin Campbell and the very consistent grey. Just giving us a good start. So Connor Swale, Castorano to the world number 15. Corner Murray's 11-year-old by Castellan. So close yesterday, but McLean Ward had a little say in that as well. McLean coming out on top in the end. Connor, after a terrific run in Canada, he wins up there at the Masters in the last few weeks. Actually was over in Europe with several horses as well, including Castorano, including in Brussels. One up in Ottawa. He's certainly been clocking up the air miles. From Dublin back to Socrates, he's putting number 1s against his name once again. Lands softly enough. Nice 4 up the line past the entrance. Again, taking enough care there at the yellow skinny vertical. Looking good, and clear round number 2. Not a big surprise. Connor Swale and the 11-year-old Castorano looking absolutely set to go. And so 2 so far, Caitlin Campbell and Connor Swale. .50 shots so far, with 4 gone, 2 clears. And should be Katie Dynan next, but not looking like Katie Dynan heading in that direction. I think we might be heading to Alex Granato. And Helios van der Nieuwenhuizen, 12-year-old by numero uno for the mare by London for Alex and the Kismer Equestrian. good winner here back in June in the Spring Series. One of the big four-star competitions that we had here back then. He's a multiple winner of World Cups as well. One here in July. So has had a pretty good season so far here in Traverse City up in Michigan. Interdispersed with wins in Kentucky as well, close to home for him. Just lengthens out. Costs them a couple of rails as they go through that Longines double. Similar problem at the latter double as well. Just trying to hold them off that last fence. Does it just enough. On a score of 12, 72.04. And so leaving them on the 4 there for Alex Granato and Helios van der Nieuwenhuizen. Well, Charlotte Jacobs now, fantastic run that she had last week. Won all 3 classes here as part of last week's 3-star competition. Now step into 5-star, and actually with different horse this time, she won everything. With Rincula Milchon, with Roy last week. He's being rested for next week's 5-star. In the meantime, just having the fence there with this very nice 9-year-old by Presley Boy. Presley Boy out of a plot blue mare is Playboy JTZ for the North Star, which is the family stud and stables. Charlotte, the US rider, who's competed on teams now. And again, just Playboy just getting some experience here this week as well. Just gets a little bit longer down that related distance, just clipping off the full strider. Just past the entrance. This will be a very good opportunity this week to get some mileage with his. It's certainly got all the good ingredients. Final fence just dropping as well. Total 12, 73.25, 3 down. As I say, it'll be 1 for the experience books for Playboy and Charlotte Jacobs this time around. I think we're going to see her again a little later on. And Alex Volpe now. Hailing from California, Alessandra Volpe, and the 9-year-old by Comme Il Faut is Candy Luck Z. Also headed out to Europe for some of the shows throughout the summer months. Dinar in recent weeks, 1 in the 3-star there with Glamour. Candy Luck, another to get some 5-star mileage on the other side of the Atlantic as well. Again, just a 9-year-old. Then had a very good run up in Canada at Toronto. Finished top 4 in the Grand Prix there. Another very good Grand Prix to be bringing about both experienced and upcoming stars. Again, that distance down to the four of those stand can just get a little bit tighter if they're starting to run on down there. Plotting their way through the double. Time-wise, looks like Alan's just given them enough breathing space here, right at 74 seconds for those to achieve it without too much stretch. 70.57 easily in there for Alex Volpe, and Candy Luxed gives us clear round number 3 on the list. So joins the clears of Connor Swale and Caitlin Campbell so far. Two for the US, one for Ireland in the mix to date. British rider Sam Hutton, who's also headed over here to the United States alongside Abdul Saeed and the team from their stables in Belgium. Sam with the AS Sport Horses, that's Abdul Saeed Sport Horses. 10-year-old by Malord Kataga is Melusina BVLZ. Long time being based out in Central Europe. Several times having competed over here in the United States before now, and again kicked things off in Canada in recent weeks. Jumped very well in both competitions there, back to back for the 5 stars in Toronto and in Ottawa. And then top 3 with this horse in Socrates over in New York. This 10-year-old mare. Trip out here. The US has been a step up for this combination. Tail end of last year competing out in Saudi Arabia in 5-star theirs as well, just as a 9-year-old at that point. Now even more of the polished article, finishing just on the 471.63 for Sam, and Melusina BVLZ goes into 5th place at the moment, just the one down for them. Combination that due to see just a few ago. I'm sure they lost a shoe, but anyway, just slightly delayed entry for Katie Dynan of the USA and the 10-year-old Out of the Blue SCF. In terms of World Cups, winner in Washington last year. Of course, we're heading to there in October. Built a really good partnership up with his former ride of Shane Sweetnam. Just gets a little bit stuck on the distance down there to the verticals. A little clip behind as they come over the skinny. Gets out, gets some space here to the Oxer. Sits up for the last and gets one of the best shots at the final fence. 74.16 will give them 1 time on top, so 1 time for combination there for Katie Dynan, and out of the blue SCF, so a total of 13 for them. Lacey Gilbertson now, Hollywood. Lacey, another one very much at home here in Traverse City, competes here throughout the summer months. Has gone fantastically here before now, including the what's known as the American Gold Cup. That's another big 5-star competition to take place here in Michigan, here in this very venue. In fact, takes place next week as part of a 2-week big 5-star set of shows here as part of what's known as the Tournament of Champions. Just a little touch at the double there. Again, horizontal lines there, making it not so easy on the poles. Just get a focus on those. And again, colours are much more mixed up these days. Also, plenty of plain poles put out there, not so much the bold stripes to get a latch on. But again, also many have got wise to that as well, and the horses jump them well. It's mixing it all up. This 12-year-old by Nabab the Rev for Lacey. Just unfortunately has that one down. They were just looked as though they were landing a little short off the Oxer previous, and unfortunately has the last, finishing on 472.24. 1 down for Lacey Gilbertson and Hollywood this time. Trains with Irishman Shane Sweetener, who was just watching in the background. Cleared so far 3 of those. Alex Volpe, Connor Swale and Caitlin Campbell so far. Michael Morrissey of the US and Ash Atkinson's 11-year-old by Cardenso is in Cento SA. New ride for Michael. Literally coming to him in the last show or so here in Traverse City, just last week, of course, to say, going into the September shows. Horse has been ridden here previously. Michael now in the saddle. Michael's family who run the shows here in Michigan. They're really just getting an idea of how the buttons go on this Scopy Grey. Comes through there well. So I say it's going to be really interesting to see how this pair develop throughout the week and over the coming months together. It's not quite as settled over that previous Oxer, cut short into the double. But actually showing some good highlights in there of what is the potential for the future. So it'd be really interesting to see how they're going in another month or so's time. Finishing on a score of 17 this time, 74.20 for Michael Morrissey, and in Cento SA this time around. Three clears in this $117,000 welcome stake this afternoon here in Traverse City. Kristen van der Veen, 5-star winner here previously as well. Four runs received this time around. And so this is the 10-year-old by Christian out of a Lord Said mare. 4 runs, as I said, the 10-year-old is again getting more mileage with Christian, who's been so successful here in Traverse City before now. Kristen, one of the most prolific winners in the United States. Has to do a little bit of energy work down there. Just again make up the distance down to the 4 strides as well. Good to see her developing with several horses back into the 5-star level. 19-year-old Festino de Tilly been jumping here as well. It's been a long-time go-to winner horse as well with Frosty. The corner a little more there. Just wait. Gets there. Time's good at 70.64. Good cheer coming off the crowd as well. Plenty of support out here for Kristen van der Veen. Hails actually originally from Illinois, if I remember right, so not too far away, just across the water. Kristen van der Veen and 4 runs, it said, also then getting into the clear list. 4 of those so far, so 3 for the USA and 1 for Ireland. Kent Farrington now. Into our world's Longines top 10. Kent also hails originally from Chicago, Illinois. Across the water from here, the other side of the Great Lakes. And Tulane, the 10-year-old by Toulon, who's been a fantastic winner for him. And the Rabbit Root Stables. Perry that was second in the Grand Prix in Toronto in August. They had a list of really good results together. Actually finished second in the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup in Live Oak in Ocala back into the early part of this year on the previous cycle of the series. She jumped this horse actually at the finals in Riyadh as well, one of the horses he was jumping there. Coming home on the clear as well for Kent. Just a little touch of the last, and should be one that could really be in the mix to pick this class off. Kent Farrington early clear and gives us number 5 of the 13 gone. Kent and Tulane putting themselves in the equation too. So joins Caitlin Campbell, Connor Swale, Alex Volpe, Kristen van der Veen, and now Kent Farrington. Erin Ballard now of Canada. Also from the Willow Grace Farms. And of Paris Salon, if memory serves. And family. Olivia Demuse. Is 10-year-old by El Torreo Demuse, and her birthday today as well. So Erin, happy birthday to you. Actually several riders with their birthdays here today in Traverse City, which is interesting for Friday the 13th. And even one of our judging panel too. Jumped this horse in Ottawa a few weeks ago there on the grass. So coming from Paris Salon, the US rider. He's actually based over in Switzerland. Literally, this is their second show together. Jumped to the 2 stars over in Ottawa. Erin, part of the Canadian squad for the Olympics in Paris this year as well, just a few weeks ago, with Nico van der Bishop. Just unfortunately back bar of the double for them, so on 4 as well. As I say, their first outing at this level, and I think probably a pretty successful one, really, considering 72.49, and so good for time. And just on the 4 faults there, going into 9th, it stands for Erin Ballard and Olivia Demuse. McLean Ward winner yesterday with Robin Parsky's First Lady on this 11-year-old by Don Diorado. Also competing Callis here this week as well. Comes up later too with Kimi Del Merced. We'll go 44th the order for the Longines World number 7. And with nothing to prove in their winning ability. Again, McLean, who's been over in Europe, a lot of that in preparation for the Olympic Games as well, but post that too, with wins in Dublin, the winning team in Dublin for Team USA as well, and one with Contagious there too. Just a rail at the verticals there early on. First Lady, part of his stable of horses that headed to Dublin too. Now for the 2017 World Cup champion, starting that quest again. The final in 2025 in Basel, in Switzerland. Just moves them up a gear as they go down to the Liberty fence. Just a little toe off behind in the double as well to the vertical. Second shot to come a little later, but 8 faults this time around. 69.69, 8 for McLean Ward, and yesterday's winner, First Lady. As they will be back with Kimi Del Merced a little later. Daniel Blumen now, the world number 31. Gemma W, the 13-year-old by Louis-Dam for the Blue Star Investments. The horse was bred with Alan Waldman, and for the over-the-top stables of New York. 5-star Grand Prix winning pairing together. And of course, for those following, Daniel has won World Cups before now, including in Toronto last year. Toronto coming up later on into the season for the Royal Winter Fair, as it is. Not feeling very wintry at the moment, thank goodness. Just clips the front bar at the net jets. Just gently pushing that out of the cups. Pairing last out of the Hampton Classic. Actually a Grand Prix that he's won previously as well. Just starts make a little move to the left there on the inside out of the double, and then just quietly down this final line. It's really about getting a good round underneath them. Finishing on the 4, 72.52. 4 there for Daniel Blumen and Gemma W this time around to go into 10th place. Antonia Petersen Hagström and the Swedish rider with Crack Gielen, the 9-year-old by Clinton. And a Bergeraff mare for Antonia. Over also with the Abdul Saeed stables. And for her fairly new-ish ride, in that she's picked up in July of this year, jumped in Falsterbo, and then has been over here in the United States for a few shows so far, and in Canada. Socrates jumping around there, putting a clear together in a similar class to this, but at the 4-star level. Former rider of Ali Hamid Al Kirby of the United Arab Emirates. Just on the 2-time faults this time, 75.98. Good to see the partnership coming together. Crack GLN and Antonia Pedersen Hagström going into 6th place so far, just outside our clears. 5 of those to date. Ken Farrington, the most recent of those. And Caitlin Campbell having given us the first. Margie Goldstein-Engel and Digas, the US Olympian. Gladewind Partners, 15-year-old by Diorado. And very much her home here throughout the summer months. Bases herself here in Traverse City in the most recent seasons. And one of the most prolific winners both here and in the United States. Now, if anyone should feel at home here, just has to give a little bit of encouragement to the Oxeters get going now. The engine's running. Forward bound to the double of verticals. And again, just try to not be too much down there. Just held off just enough. This little skinny that so far hasn't caused too much of a problem. Margie keeping coming down to this double. And then fires out of the corner off the side of the arena. Get the momentum, just wait down there because again that can just get a little bit tight, but it's absolutely perfectly ridden by Margie, and she will give us clear round number 6, Margie Engel. And Dikas going clear 72.94, reminder time allowed of 74 seconds. and they'll return it in the same order for that second round for the jump off for those going for this $117,000 class. Francisco Vallaga of Spain. PSD de Muse, the 9-year-old by Vigo de Suey for the Sigma Stables. Another who's been here throughout the summer months as well. So he's been a regular here with a list of good results. Based out here in the United States for a good while now. Top 10 here last week as a pairing. Seen them top 5 in a number of classes throughout the shows, including second back here in July in a Grand Prix that was just $3,000 short of this class. I probably cursed you by saying that hadn't fallen yet, but also sign of a course when a long list of fences are falling. And that's right, it was produced through last year in Switzerland, then headed out to the United States with Luis Sabino Gonçalves of Portugal, who's also been basing out here in America now. And just leaves him on the 4 at 72.94. 13th place so far for Francisco Guayaga Molet of Spain. Kathleen Driscoll now. And Hidalgo gelding by Katoki for Don Stewart. And Kathleen being a leading combination throughout they have a leading rider award throughout the whole season. She won last year. She's been leading this as well, coming into the final stages here in what's known as the Tournament of Champions. It's actually 3 weeks of competition here in Traverse City. It's the middle week, the 5-star Longines FEI World Cup. Still another 5-star week to come next week for the American Gold Cup. And she has been picking off class after class after class. And again, consistency being the watchword. She's been so often there within the top 5 and top 10. Grand Prix winner in Lexington with Rome going back to May of this year as well. Trains with Henri Prudhomme and Katie. Two with huge experience to bring to her. Nice and patiently ridden down that line. And just says, wait, come back to me. Really accurately done. Time ones will run a little close, but should be okay. 73.10. Yes, they are. Kathleen Driscoll showing, as I say, the consistency is certainly a word you can put against her name. It is into the 7th clear so far. Kathleen Driscoll of the USA and Hidalgo at this point. 7 clears with likes of Caitlin Campbell, Connor Swale, Alex Volpe, Kristen van der Veen, Kent Farrington, Marge Engel, and now Kathleen Driscoll joining the list. USA's Brian Canaan. And the Canaan family and Stiller families. Armick, 15-year-old by Armitage, and also featured well here last week in what was the 3-star competitions. Armic being a long time partner for him. He was competing out through Spruce Meadows throughout the summer. Finished very well in the Grand Prix in Tryon back in June. Top 3 there as a partnership. Just drops the UBS fence. And again, mixing it up. Poles dropping in varied fences around the course. Just towing that second part of the double with them. Gets high over the next of the Oxers. Coming home on the 12. And 12 will be the result. 73.77 inside the time. Just ticks in there into 18th place for Brian Canan and Armic for the American. Originally from Ireland. And of the mix so far, 7 clears to date in our lineup. Abdel Said of Belgium. Figueres de Lum. The 9-year-old by Capital d'Argon for Abdel. World number 62. And Olympian previously. He's made regular trips over to the United States throughout his career. In fact, has included wins in the 5-star Grand Prix down in Wellington, Florida before now. Like I say, several for the stable have been out here for a few weeks, including their tour of Canada. Through some of the recent 5 stars there, a little closer on to the east of Canada, not making it all the way to further across to Calgary. Little flick back there, Toronto and Ottawa, and then heading here to Michigan. So they're all not a million miles apart. Just gets underneath that Just World Oxford, a little touch at the double. Again, getting this 9-year-old some very good experience as they step into the 5 stars with a hugely experienced rider. Finishes on the 8, 70.33 for Abdel Said and Figueres de Lum. So we'll continue with their US tour. So based out here for the fall season, as a number are heading over from Europe to do. Very good list of shows over the coming weeks, and of course into further stages of the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Series as we kick off here for the very first time here in Traverse City. And, to Dylan Daly now. Now the Irishman, and again for a long time lived into the US. Cinderella's out, the 14-year-old by Chaco Blue for the Double C stables. It's gone very well through shows in Ocala, through the 2 stars and 3 stars, move up now into the 5 stars, did their first a few weeks ago of the recent months, of this year anyway. That was in the Angelstone venue near Toronto. Just has to shake it up there as they get high, but land short of the first of the oxes. Similar there, almost they ride it almost as a vertical gets high, but just unfortunately doesn't get across. Much better at the oxer there. It just holds the back because again they can just start to travel down to that final vertical. 76.27, total of 11 for Dylan Daly and Cinderella Z this time. Roberto Turan coming into view, DSP Callis by Cas Kenny II. The Colombian, again US based, he's been competing here in Traverse City for quite some years now on a regular basis. Great to see him back. The highly experienced Colombian from the Santiago Games, the Pan American Games last year, through to previous the Olympics in Tokyo, competing individually there. Started off well yesterday with Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden actually was also second in the two-star Grand Prix in Ottawa. That's a younger horse that we're going to see this week with him. But DSP Callis is one with plenty more mileage on the clock, but just goes into perspective of what an exciting string of horses he's got at the moment, with Desert Tough at the top of it. This is a horse he took over to Europe, competed in France, in La Baule, Deauville, and Dinard as well. Little touch in the double, but it stays. A number of these riders with a second horse to come in this class a little later. Going to leave him on a 4, 73.37. I think just the one spin though for Roberto Turan in this class. The Colombian with the 12-year-old DSP Callis will go to 15th place as it stands. And take us on to our next for Belgium, being based out here in the United States. Loic Canet and ultimately Cooley, the 10-year-old by OBOS Quality, Irish bred horse out of a Devant de Semi-Mare. Now for the 24-year-old rider. Competed here in Traverse City back in June as well. Competing in the US since last year. pairing that have seen place at the Grand Prix in Lexington and in the lineup here last week as well. It's part of the Silver Oak tournament. Verbally hear him just saying wait into the double, putting a nice round together so far. Six waits for the last, just a little touch on there, and 73.75 times it well for the combination to go into that jump off. Here round number 8. So look at it going on to that jump off, one of 8 so far. Kathleen Driscoll, most recent before then. Margie Engel, Ken Farrington, Kristen van der Veen, Alex Volpe, Connor Swale, Caitlin Campbell, all on the list. Bliss here's now. Quality Star Z by Quality Time, the 11-year-old. Out of a Cashmere for the Bridgeside Farms. Again makes her return here to Traverse City. Last week finishing 4th of the Grand Prix with Ferrigno. Again building up the string of horses, went so fantastically with Antidote de Mars as that fabulous 5-star Grand Prix winning horse. And now has widened the string for the next generation. And spent the summer in Calgary. Quality stars there who started to have a little bit more exposure this year, jumping the 5-star Grand Prix in Vancouver. It's Thunderbird, former ride of Jérôme Gary of Belgium. Of course, he highly successful World Championship medalist. Good turn back here, get some good pace into this final line. And then just keeping them tightly together for the final fence again, just so they don't run on. And 72.27. It is clear round number 9, going in the direction of Bliss Here's. And Quality Star Z keep developing nicely as a partnership. This is their real first full season. Kicked off in January this year as a partnership. Just starting to move up into the 5 stars a little more. Did jump in the 5 stars down in Wellington, Florida. Sloane Coles we'll go on to now with Ninja, the 11-year-old by Elvis Teput. Another one that went very well throughout the Wellington season down in Florida. Of course, it's a long 3-month series down there, alongside where there will be a long plethora of top 5 stars throughout the winter months next year. The winter being January through to early April. That will include also the Ocala, Florida stage of the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup, and also the Longines League of Nations. Just unfortunately forward through the vertical. Drops the second of those at the little sunshine yellow skinny. Again, the pairing that wouldn't have had as much mileage at this level, but have certainly got some of the ingredients in there for it. And there we go, finishing on 8:73.34, 2 down this time. Both similar fences for Sloane Coles. Back to back, just delicate little verticals for them. Finish on a total of 8. So happy now for a ride for Oscar A. 10-year-old by Harley. Other who counts home base as Wellington, Florida, as do many. Now, again, stepping up a gear with this horse. They jumped well in the 3 stars in Socrates recently. It's been ridden with co-owner Sami Al-Dahan before now. Sami, who these days rides on the British team, former winner of the Spruce Meadows Masters Grand Prix. Also in with Joanne Sloan Allen, the Sycamore Horse Farm. This is based out in Ireland. So, picking up the ride earlier this year, running out in the spring shows in Wellington, Florida. First 5-star for this pairing together. Actually, Sami brought the horse over here, jumped on the Nations Cup back in March. All stayed out here with Sarah. You just caught out by that double. Again, certainly wide enough there as well at 1.60 m, and that last fence just a tickle of the pole there at 1.55 m. Liverpool to finish off, but it'll stay. 2 for time, 75.70. Like I say though, a step up for that pair once again as well. So probably not too disappointed with that. Just unfortunate fence there for them, but one that's been had by many so far, and leaves them on a score of 6 for Sarah Happy and Oscar A. And taking us through so far, we've got 9 clears at the moment. Bliss here is the most recent, and then we've got Belgium, we've got more for the USA in the mix, we've got Ireland in the frame as well with Contenders. Let's take a look. The early clear coming from Caitlin Campbell to start that run. She was our 3rd to go. Cotteswale, Ever Present, Castorano, Alex Volpe, Kristen Vanderveen, Ken Farrington, Margie Goldstein, Engel to make up the early run of clears. And then there are a few more to come into the frame yet. 3 more of those: Katie Driscoll, Rick Kennett of Belgium, and Bliss Hears of the United States. Takes us up to around our halfway stage of this $117,000 welcome stake as part of this week's 5-star. Beautiful conditions here in Michigan, in Traverse City. As you can see, just a touch of breeze around. It's a lovely warm day in the high 70s, and we're not too far away from the water either. We're back in a few minutes' time.
28 still to go for round one of today's $117,000 welcome stake. 9 riders clear coming out of our drag break here for round one. 7 for the U.S. Caitlin Campbell, Alessandra Volpe, Kristen Vanderveen, Kent Barrington, Margie Engel, Kathleen Driscoll, and Bliss Ears. 1 for Ireland with Connor Swill, and 1 for Belgium with Loic Kinnaert aboard Ultimately Cooley. As we get back underway, we welcome in our two-star two-phase winner from earlier today, the USA's Charlie Jacobs, who will be our first to show after the break with Kenzo Qualities. First of our 28 still to go. It's a CMJ Sport Horse entry. 10-year-old Zakir Sadagelting by Kanan.
And welcome back. And so we are into the second half of our $117,000 welcome stake here. And so all the clears so far, 9 of those in this jump-off class, and into our second group. Several will be second rides for those that have already taken a spin here, but this is a first solo shot for Charlie Jacobs of the USA. Charlie with his own CMJ Sport Horses, 10-year-old by Kanan. This is Kenzo Quality, bred by the Quality Stud. Charlie, a 4-time World Cup finalist, including last time out in 2018, which, if I remember, was an American win as well, with Beezy Man adding to her list of big wins as well. Charlie competing in the 5-star this week, as is niece Charlotte. Much of the Jacobs family been involved in the sport, but they are world business of sport. Here's the day job, if you like. Just settles more into the next to the verticals. Just then into the latter part of the course. Charlie been building up a newer string of horses in the last 12 months or so. And finishing on a much better note. It's going to be a little bit of time to add there as well. 76.70 for Charlie Jacobs this time, with Kenzo Quality Zebra jumping in Calgary as well out there on the big grass field again to get some mileage this season, but a pairing that came together or started their FEI career in March of this year. Rally Hyla to go now. Lennox van der Bishop. And 13-year-old by Balabé de Roy for Kurt Hyla. Again, both like Charlie Jacobs and she, I think both from a Boston direction. Charlie with a base down in Lexington these days as well. Rally also joins Erin Ballard in having a birthday today as well. This will be her 25th. So happy birthday, Rally. Let's see if we can bring this one home. She was top 3 a few weeks ago in the 3-star Grand Prix in Saugerties back in July. That was with Abora's Chloe. Just this year started to do a few more of the big 5 stars. Hampton Classic a few weeks ago. And the Longines Grand Prix there as well. Just gets through the double okay. On the 8 at the moment. And we'll finish on the 8 at 72.17. 2 down for Rally Hyla this time. And Lennox van der Bishop. Former ride of Sophie Hinners of Germany. Shane Sweetener making appearance now. The Irish Olympian with R.R. Kumbela. Shane made his return back to the home base here in the United States, based down in Wellington, Florida, but throughout the summer here for a large part of that generally here in Traverse City, although of course he's been across to Europe a lot this year as well in the build-up to the Olympic Games. Daughter Olivia, who's also been competing here in Traverse City, going a little bit earlier on today in this very arena. Also jumping here with his Olympic ride this week, James Can-Cruz. Now this pairing, again not to be overlooked, finished 4th in that Longines Hampton Classic Grand Prix a few weeks ago. And clear it'll be. 73.42, and takes us into double figures now as the 10th clear round there going to Shane Sweetener and the 10-year-old by Cornet Deli R.R. Kumbela. One to watch out for this season as well for Shane. Shane swiftly back after, say, that European tour. He's been bouncing between Europe and the United States. That was the horse he jumped in the Nations Cup in Rotterdam as well as part of the Longines League of Nations. Now Luis Fernando Larrazabal to go now. Now the 12-year-old Condara, which was the horse that he rode the combination together at the Pan American Games last year, the Venezuelan, with this horse also owned by Victoria Heitemate. Also these days based down in Wellington, Florida. And also the horse he rode at the Olympic Games in Paris. Condara has been having a little bit of a breather since then. It's her first big show back. Just on the 4. Got a nice win for him just a couple of weeks ago. In fact, his first 5-star win in Ottawa. Opening class there. Pairing that have the ability to jump the big tracks. Just gets a little stuck underneath the double coming in. Last fence is certain of hitting the floor, gets them a total of 16, as I say, making their return after a break since Paris, 69-16. Luis Fernando Larrazabal and Condara jumped yesterday, had a better result than that, unfortunately, 16 today. Spencer Smith and Kibel for the Gotham Enterprises for Georgina Bloomberg, the 15-year-old by Quaid. Now Spencer, again, who's been hopping between Europe and the United States, made a return here to Traverse City in recent weeks. Again, has been a regular when possible. here in Michigan. He was also on the winning team for the United States in Dublin this year with the very good Keeneland horse. Has been certainly on the rise this season. It's a pair that finished well here back in June as well for those opening spring series shows. In fact, several top 3 finishes there. Back in the groove here in early August. Just drifts a pole off at the Just World International fence. A little more convincing at the next to the verticals. Bell, who's also coming back into action after competing here in August, early August that is, so it just makes it a bit more of a break. Just over a month ago. Right, well, just pick up a little bit of time here as well. Just the tiniest bit, 74.01, and adds one time fault there. A total of 13 for Spencer Smith and Keybell this time. Clears of those, we've got 10 of them at the moment. And we'll start to get into the second rides of some of our multi-ride combinations. Caitlin Campbell being one of the early ones of those, that gave us the first of the clears. Now back, and this time with our Mentos, the 30-year-old by Armitage, is gelding for the SWS Trading and Sales. Caitlin, who's been based out in California. It's a pair that were top 5 in the Grand Prix in Del Mar at the end of August, and then made the trip up here to Michigan. Quite a few coming over from the west, actually, from California over the season. Gets higher at the Oxford, just patiently coming down to the last. Gets a nice pace down to it as well, and we'll finish on just 4:73.28 for Caitlin Campbell, and our Mentos goes top 20. And so, Caitlin Campbell, first clear of the group, so she will return. Of our 10 clears so far, Shane Sweetland, Bliss Hears, Catherine Driscoll, Margie Engel, Kent Farrington, Kristen van der Veen, to name but a few. Connor Swale is another of those that I will name because it's already clear. And Connor's time back with his long-time partner, Count Me In, by Count Granus, out of a Sherlock Holmes mare. They've sold quite a few puzzles together, plenty of wins together for Connor, the world number 15. Pair that actually were top 10 at the Longines World Cup final back in 2022, not too long ago. Count Me In also just returned from a European stint, last out in Brussels. In the meantime, Connor was able to notch up wins in Ottawa as well. Pair that have won time after time and have a chance of being with two-handed into this jump off, as he went very close yesterday. And so on a score of 72.42 as a time, going clear for Cotteswale and Count Me In. Katie Dynan making a return now, and this time with Ticket de Auvent, 40 roll by Rock and Roll Semi for the Grand Prix partners of New York. She's been a very strong podium finisher, top 5 finisher in big Grand Prix and Grand Prix winner here in Traverse City before now, for a number of those through the 2 and 3 stars as well before now. Katie back into the list of those successful through the World Cups here on the North American League. Cotteswale, prime example, long list of those for him. Katie winner in Washington last year. Just a little flattens off over that Oxer to have that down. 12 the score, and 72.92. 12 there for Katie Dynan and Ticket de Auvent as she makes a return.
Lacey Gilbertson with her second hit this afternoon at Lulu MPS.
Lacey Gilbertson now and Lulu. Again, another who spends a large chunk of her time through the summer based here in Traverse City. Top 3 before now in the American Gold Cup here, the 5-star that takes place next week. Lulu, the 9-year-old by Lord Pezzi Jr. on the 4. Gets a little deeper into the double and just pays for it on the second part. Final fence just catches up with them as well. Total of 12 at 68.71. Very quick round there for Lacey Gilbertson and Lulu, finishing with 3 down. Catherine Driscoll making a return here. Castelletto this time, the 10-year-old by Cascadello for Kathleen, now already clear with, again, her first ride. 2 shots here for one of the most successful riders here in Traverse City in recent times, through last season and this. Kathleen in this pairing getting a little more mileage, also owned by the Plain Bay Farm of Katie and Henri Prudent. Pairing that have been second in the Grand Prix, the Maya Grand Prix, back here in July. And again, consistent top 10 finishes just on the 4 so far, and adds another one there at the Oxer. Just the last fence stays up, and 8 faults there at 73.81. Finishing on a total of 8 there for Kathleen Driscoll, but she will return with the earlier clear from her as well. And already clear is Alex Volpe, second ride now with the combination here, Gypsy Love, taken by Guidam Sone for Alex. Still holding at the 11 clears so far on our list. Gypsy Love, a horse that was added to her stable earlier on this year, back in the spring. Formerly ridden here in the US with Anna Dryden. Just tails off the vertical. Just gets a lovely shape over the oxes through that related line. Another one to get caught by the double there. Again, distance-wise, it was 780, so a little bit tighter through that double. So just getting a little narrow for some. On the 8th fault, 72.85. Gypsy Love and Alex Volpe, but I say already with an early clear. She'll go third in the jump off so far of the 11 clears to date, so we'll see her a little later on.
Ballard and now number 21 in the world with Ginger S.
Now, birthday girl Erin Ballard with a second run here as well. Looking for a clear. Ginger Ask. 10-year-old by Casal for Erin and the Marigold Sport Horses. Currently world number 21, the highest ranked lady rider alongside Tiffany Foster. Two Canadians tied, as I understand it, on the same score. The horse has been well placed here in Traverse City through the summer, was second in the 3-star classes here in the last show here in August. And it's been sparingly competed this season as well. She's of course also been looking towards Olympic Games. Strong run in Calgary as well. Part of the recent Canadian team there. Jumps well and has a birthday shot. It is going to be clear there for Erin Ballard for clear round number 12 of this $117,000 class. So Erin Ballard for Canada returns with Ginger Ask a little later on. Good opportunity for her to just... Another ride for Charlotte Jacobs now. 3-time winner of 3 classes here last week. But again, switching up the horses. This time the 9-year-old Instrumental. This Swedish bred mare was actually produced back in the UK with Ireland's Shane Breen. Charlotte making the climb up the world rankings. Getting close now to the top 150, and I think we'll keep going north. Little change around the horses this week for Charlotte. Fantastic week last week. Also going very well, of course, in the young horse classes championship that they support too. Just there, rolls on into the vertical. More balanced at the following NetJet Soxa. Delicate little sunshine vertical of the sunflowers. Just on the 4 so far for Charlotte. And sits back for the last. Just starts getting a little shorter for a few down there again as it just naturally takes you down. Just adds 1 time for there, a total of 5.74.50 for Charlotte Jacobs this time, and instrumental. McLean Ward making a return now. Kimi Delmacet as our next to go, tendered by Quasimodo Z for the Sport for USA group of supporters supporting US riders and jumping championships. Kimi having jumped in the recent Hampton Classic show as well. Again, had taken a little bit of a break since Devon back in May. Pairing that last year together. It was a fairly new partnership then, won the Upperville Grand Prix. That's your horse that jumped in this very arena previously with Daniel Bedoya. Went very well there, went on to the South American Games as well. Showing super talent over the Oxer, and then just able to land quietly and just get a lovely run down to the final fence. 72.37 McLean Ward and Kimi Delmacet, giving us number 13. Will it be lucky on Friday the 13th? We will see. But there we go, McLean Ward, Kimi Delmacet looking to follow up on his win yesterday with First Lady. Still a little way to go in the opening round, as say many coming on to their second rides here. Just a reminder, the clears the dates. First one coming from Caitlin Campbell, Connor Swale after that, Alex Volpe, Kristen van der Veen, Ken Farrington, Margie Engel, Kathleen Driscoll, Loic Canet, Belgium, Bliss Hears, Shane Sweetnam, Connor Swale, Erin Ballard, and as we've just seen, McLean Ward adding to the list. Next pairing just making their way down the hill amongst the tree line. Antonia Peterson Hagström now, Zara de Lobrazet for the Abdul Saeed Trading. His partner from Sweden. And again, having been over here in the last few weeks competing in Socrates as well in New York before heading to the shows. Ooh. Just unfortunately, just doesn't get the takeoff at the vertical. Rolls a rail at the Longines fence. 155 on the way in there. Just gets a nice quieter shot through the double. On the 8. Just might touch over the time allowed here as well. And as I say, just quietly coming through those final few fences gives them 2 time. Total of 10 there, with the 2 down there at 75.24 for Antonia Pedersen Hagström. Kent Farrington with his second ride. Michael Morrissey to come in the next few. Sam Hutton, Francisco Oyaga Molet, Jacqueline Stephens Daly, Abdul Saeed of our next few. Kent Farrington and the 9-year-old Myla by Crunch for Hattie McNerney. Now for the Longines World number 10. Myla just going to get a little bit more exposure now. This 9-year-old mare jumped in the 5-star Grand Prix at the Hamptons just for 4 faults there. Unfortunately has the rail there, but finished second in the Grand Prix of Paris on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Just on the 4, and so we'll be good for time at 72.66. Ken Farrington already with the clear in the bag as well, though, so he'll be back a little later, but just the 1 down this time with Myla. Michael Morrissey now. Elton Sa-Emel. Second ride for Michael, having jumped a little earlier with Incento. Now the 10-year-old for the Imperial Show Stables, which is his stable, by Clentissimo Z. Again, been jumping throughout a number of the summer months here in Traverse City. To good effect back in June. Now, Michael looking to join those 13 clears so far. A little touch there into the Swan double, but it'll be kind enough to stay where it is. That one not as generous. Just a little upping of pace down that line. Just having the back bar and then the next coming up just get a little bit more unsettled. Michael brings the back together on the turn. Again, step up here for this horse, having competed through the 2 and 3 stars here previously. Last fence will stay where it is. A little bit of time to add there. 17, 74, 96, like I say, all part of the progression. And so just a little bit of time to add there as well. 17 for Michael Morrissey and Ilton Saint-Emel. Sam Hutton with the Casteltano PS. Next ride for the British European Championship rider. 9-year-old by Castelco out of a Chaco Blue Mare. Sam here as part of the Abdul Saeed team. Like I say, he's been over to the United States on several occasions before. Sultano also getting the step up here. Competed in the 5-star World Cup qualifier out in Saudi Arabia last December. And then heading over to the United States and Canada for this series of shows in the fall. Still in the last throes of summer yet though. Sam very tidily bringing them home so far. And not to be. Just unfortunately comes unravelled at the final 2 fences, finishing on a total of 8, 71.83 for Sam Hutton this time with Casteltano PS. Means we hold at the 13 clears on Friday the 13th so far. A little way to go yet. Taking us to Spain again. Second ride for Francisco Uaga Molednau and the Spaniard with Staccato Cornet. 9-year-old by Cornet of Valensky. Out of a Staccato mare from the Ashton Farms. And now coming through another very good combination with the Spaniard teams up with the Ashton Farms. The Smith family out here in the United States has been riding for them for a little while now. Solid performance last week in the Grand Prix here. Now for a step up with this 9-year-old. It's nice and deep at the Just World fence. Just flattens off on the way out of that double of verticals. Just reaches out there, has that one down, but again, this is a horse we'll probably be looking at more of a little bit how the raw talent's going to play out this week. Again, generally come round with pretty good effect quietly so far. A nice jump, doesn't make too much fuss. Just a little bit of discussion there down to the final fence, but there we go. It is just on 473.62 for Francisco Uaga of Spain and Staccato Cornet for the Ashton Farm crew. Holding it at 13 clears at the moment. Jacqueline Stephens Daly and long-time partner in Freaky. 14-year-old by Darko. Now for the Canadian with a horse that she's developed through to 5-star. Similar class win to this at Angel Stone back in August. It's up another gear in terms of prize money. $62,000 qualifier there, $117,000 here this afternoon, and still looking for a similar result if they can. But again, another one caught out by that double. Some just finding it a little bit tighter in there. Land short, just trying to keep the distance. Others having the fence on the way out. I mean, it's a 780, it's a standard enough, but a little bit on the shorter side. But you see some of them just quietly coming through there very effectively. Jacqueline Stephens Daly on the list of those just caught by it, finishing on the 4. Abdul Saeed now and Calvaro, the 8-year-old by Cascadello. Another one from his home stable. So he's been over here in the United States and Canada for the last few weeks. Now the highly effective Grand Prix winner and producer, based and now representing Belgium. Now again, just an 8-year-old here, so we'll start to find out what we've got. Has height. Just gets a nice run down to this double of verticals. Just sets back a little coming up to the NetJets fence. Gets a freer run down to the Oxa. Abdel using the space out to the Longines double. Looking a very talented horse with raw ability. Final fence, just going to touch that, but we'll leave it there. Makes we go off the 13 onto 14. Abdul Saeed adding to the list now with the 8-year-old Calvaro. Again, it'll be very interesting to see where he can push the buttons in the jump off should he wish. And so he comes into the reckoning, just the first there since McLean Ward, our 13th to go clear. Now 14 on the list and under 10 left to go. Vanessa Hood now, Burlington Riverlands, newer horse for her as well. And so for the Take 2 LLC, it's an experienced 13-year-old. It was ridden by René Dittmer earlier on this year. René from Germany, partner of US rider Chloe Reed. In fact, he won the Hampton Classic Grand Prix just a few weeks ago, jumping this horse down in Florida. Out to the skiddy. Looking good so far for Vanessa. Again, she another of the riders on the list who's competed at the World Cup finals previously in her career. Very tidily through the double. Gets a good stretch over the Oxer. One from home. Might be a little bit closer on the time, but should be okay. 72.99. Yes, she is. Second in hand. Vanessa Hood and Burlington Riverlands adding to the list. So that gives us clear round number 15. Bear in mind there were just under 60 going in the first round of this class. Not too many of those left now. Lise Oken. Second ride for her, Forest Style this time around, for High Hopes Farm of North Carolina, bred by Renata Kelnerova. This 10-year-old gelding by Don Diorado out of an Allegretto mare. Now with a 10-year-old Forest Style that's again been competing over in France and in the Netherlands through the summer. She was on the squad in Rome at the Piazza di Siena this year as well, back in May, and this horse on her stable of horses out there then, and made the return to double clear nicely at the Hampton Classic. Nicely anchored down to the double. Nice compact combination together. Helped on the ground these days by Marcus Beerbaum, who's here with them. Several other pupils this week. Just a little touch there. Not much of a flick, but unfortunately will count. Takes a forward shot at the Oxer and it just bounces them down there nicely, looking to do what they do and really cover the ground down to the last effectively. 69.91, just on the 4 there for Lise Oken and Forest Style. Go top 20, but it is so far 15 to return for the jump off. Now again, another rider who was finishing well yesterday is Hunter Holloway, this time with Henrietta Ariel, horse that she's been jumping to here in Traverse City. It's the Argentinian bred 9-year-old by Piccadilly Tame for the Hayes Investment Corporation of Topeka, Kansas. A little pacey down there, but she sat up at the right times. Hunter been developing yet another grey in our lineup. Unfortunately, lands short at the Oxer. Just got a little stretched out at the net jets. Otherwise, looking pretty good, and again a step up for this horse. As I say, she finished in her top few yesterday in the class 1 by McLean Ward, and unfortunately just gets a forward bounce through the double, gets them back together, and just not going to be, just a little somewhat unsettled. So Hunter going to do absolutely the right thing, just give a little circle, everyone gets a breath, and round we come again. Sensibly ridden, just got somewhat unsettled at the double, and then wasn't back for the following line. But as I say, there'll be more to come. It's a project in the making there with Henrietta Ariel and Hunter Holloway this time around. 15 clears at the moment, into our final few. Daniel Blumen going to be next to those up. Daniel with Abigail Wexler's and his own Corby VV, 9-year-old by Kornet Obolensky. Out of a Chaco Blue Mare. Now for the next of the Paris Olympians in the field here this week. She riding this one for Abigail Wexler, long-time owner with BZ Band, also riding another of her horses, Hummer Z, in Socrates and in Ottawa in the last few weeks. BZ competing herself here this week. Now very much involved in producing some very good horses through. This horse has been with Daniel since last year, formerly in Belgium. Coming through nicely so far, and another grey in the list for Daniel. Seen him with Gemma W here this week as well. And nicely done, 72.59 going clear, and gives us the 16th clear there. Corby VV and Daniel Blumen. So we'll see him back a little later on. Good winner for him in Vancouver back in the early part of the summer. Ali Grimes now coming into our final few, and Chiquito PS, 12-year-old for the Can We Keep It LLC by Diablo Blanco. Now for the 22-year-old. Pairing together, that last week finished top 6 in the Grand Prix here as well. Top 3 in the Grand Prix here in August too. So I've got some good mileage here in Traverse City. Nice light control through the double. Just trying to hold back here, just needs enough to get across the net jet Soxa, which they have, and they can just step on the gas a little bit more down to the UBS fence. Still on the clear. Just unfolds onto the back bar there, unfortunately. So close for what was a good round, finishing on 470.82, and it is just coming up one fence shy, finishing on 4 faults for Hallie Grimes this time, and Chiquito PS top 20. I think just a couple left to go in the first round of this $117,000 welcome stake. And Brian Conan now, Castlefield Dream, 30-year-old by Clinton, from the home Glen Bay Farm. Also filtering the Holsteiner by Clinton. One of two left to go. Michaela Langmeyer still to come. Clear so far, 16 of those. Daniel Blumen, the most recent. Caitlin Campbell will start us off. A little bit steadier over the Longines World Cup oxer there. Nice control down the related line. Little tap at the UBS fence. Unfortunately, stronger tap coming into the Longines double. Squeezes it down to make the distance up to the next related line. Total of 10 overall. Couple there for time. 75.94. 10 there for Brian Canan. And Castle Freeld Dream coming into the final stages. Michaela Langmeyer now. Final combination. Mimosa van der Rullebeek. 12-year-old for Rafty Farm. By Castellino van der Hiller out of a Toulon mare. That's the last to go. So 16 clears with one left to come. That also was jumping in Socrates and in Ottawa in recent weeks, just clips the fence there. So we know we've got 16 coming back for the jump off. Coming home on the full faults. Forward 70.53 and one down for Michaela Langmeyer and Mimosa van der Rullebeek, and so we'll go into 20th place overall. 16 returning for the jump off, an exciting 16 indeed. Caitlin Campbell, Connor Swale, Alex Volpe to name the early combinations. We'll take you through a list in just a moment as our read team set up for that jump off in this $117,000 welcome stake here this afternoon. There's the early clear from Caitlin Campbell. Few further down then Kristen van der Veen. Ball runs is said. Ken Farrington could well shake it up with very fast Tulena. Margie Goldstein-Engel and Dikas, Kat Driscoll and Hidalgo for the US. Bliss Hears, Quality Star Z, Shane Sweetnam, R.R. Combella, Connor Swale, the two Irishmen going back to back. Count me in. Erin Ballard would like a birthday gift. Thank you very much. With Ginger Ask, certainly deserving of it. McLean Ward going for his second potential win of the week with Kimi Delmerset in the final few. Abdul Saeed, Vanessa Hood, and completing the lineup will be Daniel Blumen and Corby VV. We're back in a few minutes' time with the jump-off conclusion to this $117,000 welcome stake here from Traverse City.
Those those are qualifiers for the jump off. We're going to make some adjustments to the course. We're also going to refresh our riding surface here. We'll have 15 to jump off for the top honors in today's $117,000 welcome stake.
The lineup coming up for the jump off looks like this. It is 16 of those in all, chasing for the big prize money on this class, $117,000 on this 5-star welcome as part of this Longines North American League World Cup round, starting off the North American League, in fact, first stage, and for the first time here in Traverse City as well. So we've got a total of 16 qualified for the jump off, and they look like this in terms of where they're going for the course. Let's go through some numbers. We're going over fence 14, which is actually fence 1 in reverse, then to fence 6 after that, and then making the turn back to 7A and B, so to the Longines double. From there to fence 10 across the arena to the Liberty Bell fence, and then on to the second part of what was the double at fence 11. This is B that remains the second half at 1.55 meters. From there we come to 12, so making the turn back then to the ballerina fence, and then from there is a new fence, fence 15, orange. Orange plank in the centre, yellow, orange and white poles making up the rest of the ensemble. And here we go with the jump off, starting off with Caitlin Campbell and Castlefield Cornelius, the 30-year-old by Conor Obolensky for the 3P equine partners, and opens it up for a fast run to start us away. Travels well to the UBS fence, gets nice and tight around the island, gets height over there, and manages to make the scope and the distance across the Oxer as well. Like they came down there on 9 down to the vertical. Good turn back here, gets a good spring across, but just a little bit tight. Again, they're just trying to stay into the left-hand side to bend the line up to this vertical. Just costs them the 4, 37.84. Again, couple of options there. They were all walking the course a little bit earlier on, either to go out to the left, bend the line, keep your energy up, keep the pace up down there, or come on a tight line, take a stride out, go down on the right-hand side of that final fence. So you've got a couple of distances to play with there. Connor Swale is pretty much an expert at that. Connor Swale, Castellano. 11-year-old by Castellan was just pipped in the class yesterday by McLean Ward. Good start. 8. Good fast turn, keeps the pace up well. Got to get across this Oxer. Drifts a little on the turn to the Liberty Bell fence. Square up to it. Then coming on the inside run to 12. Again, whoa, good shot there. Bends the line, gets straight. Can take a good square run at the final fence. There we go. 35.82, 0 score for Connor Swale. And 2 seconds quicker than that of Caitlin Campbell as well, regardless of the faults that are present on her score as well. But going clear there for Connor Swale to lead the pack so far. Alex Volpe now of the USA. Candy Luxed, the 9-year-old by Comme Il Faut, getting some very good ring time with this horse. Just having moved up a gear now with this 9-year-old in the latter part of the season. That first fence giving them a real chance to hurdle it. Again, lands well, moving in the air. And just doesn't quite get the shot at the vertical there they wanted. Gets higher. Tries to come on a little bit tighter line. Connor Swale did bend the line out there actually, but was just coming at a really quick run. 38.09 finish on the 4 there for Alex Volpe, going into 3rd place. Now Kristen van der Veen of the USA. Bull Runs, as said, the 10-year-old by Christian out of a Lord Z mare for the Bull Runs jumpers. Just a little hesitation coming down there as they just corrected. Oh, and she came in there to fire and just had to say, whoa, no, we're not going to even try that. Gives the horse a pat. Little chat there, says, oh, it's okay, don't worry. Right, we'll stand here and we'll sort it out. Arena team spring in. Just put the furniture back together. And I think she's possibly just going to quietly jump the first fence, but that's what it's looking like. Doesn't want to cause too much of a shake-up, keep the horse's confidence. There we go, can do that easily. Yeah, we'll just pop the fence there for Kristen van der Veen, deciding to retire. So Connor Swale still leading the pack so far. Early stages, 4 gone. Now Ken Farrington making his way down. He's there in the Rabbit Root Stables 10-year-old Tulane. Certainly got the speed here if he's going to go and chase for this. You've seen them prove several times before. Okay, for the World Top 10 rider, time to unleash. Takes a little look around. Final few moments of the strategy. Quick-footed. And efficient enough back to this Liberty fence. Comes very quickly to the vertical, then he's just got to take a little bit of the pace off so they don't drift too far away from this Oxer. 35.82 to beat has got a very good chance here for Ken Farrington and Tulane. I said they've got quick speed, 35.15. Not that big a gap, but at this level, that is a big enough gap. 35.15, Ken Farrington taking the lead with Tulane over Connorswales 35-82. So, new leading score, Ken Farrington, 35-15. Good way to go yet. Still around about 10 plus left to take a shot. And so going on to Kathleen Driscoll, Hidalgo. Looks like Margie Engel not jumping off. Maybe, still maybe to come, but that was due to be her slot. Hidalgo for Kathleen Driscoll, for Don Stewart, the 11-year-old biker Toki. And they certainly breed in some speed. Just again, slight turn away, then say go. Like a racehorse coming out of the starting gates. Nice and tight around the island. Oh, but just a little too tight coming up to that double. Up to the final fence on the 4. Time-wise, 36-39, and just the one fence down into third place so far for Kathleen Driscoll. Ken Farrington keeping the lead. We're going to hear now of Belgium. The open horses, ultimately Cooley. General by OBOS Quality. Starts a little steadier, but a good ground covering run to go here. Not coming at the same pace or tightness around the island as the others, but again, just unfortunately has that down. Again, not quite the experience in these 5 stars. Certainly a horse with jumping ability though, having jumped a very good round to start with, and showing it here again. Just going within their pace, probably sensibly, as they go to 73.18, just on the 4, and just one fence down for Loic Canet of Belgium, and ultimately Cooley. Still leading Ken Farrington, Connorswell in second, Kathleen Driscoll in third. Bliss here's now. Bliss with the Bridgeside Farms 11-year-old by Quality Time is Quality Star Z. It's a nice shot at the Ox there. Going to come home on the 4, but time-wise is not far away. Just gets a nice inside run down to the vertical at the last, 37.89. Just the 4 for Bliss Here's to go into 5th place so far. So leaves our top 3 remain unchanged at the moment. In fact, just two on the double clear so far, Contenders and Kent Farrington. Maybe that'll start to alter a little strategy. I would see what happens. With enough prize money on the table, they're still going to be taking a run for it. Shane Sweetnam is one of those for Ireland. Light fast type with R.R. Cornbella with the 10-year-old by Courtney DeLee. Let's have a little look at the Ballerina Oxa. Started out stretched, just brought the back a little bit just to keep the control there. Good turn, maybe not as swift around that as Kent Farrington. Just not quite putting the same foot speed pressure there, but he's picking it up here. And now he's really chasing the shot at this. Swale going for Swale in second. It is another Irishman, Shane Sweetnam, that could get the lead here. 36.60 and will go into third. So it's an Irish second and third at the moment. Connor Swale in second, Shane Sweetnam in third spot there, 36.60. Just maybe a fraction steadier, sensibly careful in the early part of the course and giving it a really good run late on. Shane Sweetnam top three. Still a little way to go, but Kent Farrington looking in commanding position so far. Still a few good challenges to take a shot there yet, including McLean Ward, who'd like to add yet another one to the list of wins after yesterday's success. Connor Swale still with another ride to come yet as well, with Count Me In. And here with the 17-year-old by Count Granus. Swale, second at the moment. He was second yesterday. He's not going to want to finish second again. So, second shot for Connor. Kent Farrington setting the lead 35-15. Connor Swale, Erin Ballard, McLean Ward, Abdul Saeed, Vanessa Hood, Daniel Blumen still yet to take a run at this again. He's also just going to have a little rehearsal back to the Ballerina Oxa. Just having a look for the spot. Good hurdling start like the rest. Then just has to ease it back just a fraction. Still looking good. Just a fraction down, 0.37 as you can see. And he's taking a real flyer, a Swale signature over the Oxa, and a real run to the last that might be enough, and it's going to be 35-34, just not quite enough. Connor Swale goes second and third. Kent Farrington keeping the lead at the moment at 35-15. And so Kent Farrington keeps the lead, 35-15, closing it down there. Connor Swale, 35-34. Connor's time also, previous ride, 35-82. Connor having a good pickup out of the week so far. Erin Ballard. Birthday girl as well. Ginger Ask. Friday the 13th. Come on, give us some luck. Again, quick enough start on the grey. Ken Farrington very quick through those first few as well, getting a little encouragement from the sidelines too to just step it up a gear. Just gets a little back and high over the Liberty Oxa there. She's giving it a good run though, tight enough to the ballerina Oxa, and has just got to really push it now to the last if she's going to stand a chance. She's just squared up, which just takes a little bit off the time. 37.43. Erin Ballard going into 5th place there. Top 5, 37.43. Shane Sweeten above that. In fact, 3 for Ireland above that. Ken Farrington keeping the lead, 35.15. Now, McLean Ward looking to double up. Yesterday's success with First Lady. Now with Kimi Delmacet. 10-year-old by Quasimodo Z for McLean for the Longines World number 7. Just getting settled. Revs it up. This is what he can do so well. And remain controlled. I think he squeezed it down a stride there as well. Now again, what you mustn't do is lose momentum on that turn back. Accurate so far from McLean. He's a fraction up. He's got a chance. Turn here and go. McLean Ward just coming on an inside run. Just has to straighten the last. Is it going to be enough? 35.01, yes it is. And so McLean Ward going for double wins. Winner yesterday. Potential winner today. He's in the lead again. They've got to depose him of it, but he has just sliced a little off Ken Farrington's time to go into 2nd for Kent. McLean Ward leads 35.01. Connor Swale 3rd and 4th. Just 3 left to come. Abdul Said, Vanessa Hood and Daniel Blumen as McLean Ward leads once again. Abdul Said, Calvaro. Gets there on the 8 again. Tight around the tree. That was a pretty good run to this fence as well. Again, up. It's how they play this final run to the last. He's got to be a little bit daring here. He is. And it's a really good shot. And it is going to be a new leader. 34.07, Abdul Said and Calvaro. The cavalry charge at the last makes all the difference. But he was picking it up right from that Liberty Bell fence as well. He'd already made a very good turn back to that. And so it is into the lead for Abdul Said and Calvaro. 2 left to go. Vanessa Hood and Daniel Blumen. Vanessa Hood, Burlington Riverlands. I think their next big test here. Abdul Saeed now leads 34.07, took nearly a second off McLean Ward. Just clips the Oxer on the way out. Last fence just going to, as I say, it is going to be another step up for them here and a real test for the week to just find out what they've got. And it's 8 this time, 38.74, and they'll continue on a good trajectory, I'm sure, throughout the week. But just drops 2 in the jump off. Very good clear in the first round for them in a developing partnership. And so 1 left to come. Daniel Blumen. Abigail Wexler's 9-year-old, Corby VV. Not sure how much he will push here or not. Nice roll back to the double. Just giving them a bit of space back to the Liberty Oxer. Jumps superbly over it, but his time-wise is giving them the time and space they need. This 9-year-old not being put fully to the wire here, but is airborne over 12. 1 fence from home, and there we go. It is going to be a steady round at 40.53, but 2 very nice clears for Daniel Blumen there at 40.53 to go into 8th place. So it's a win in the $117,000 welcome stake, and the carpet will be put out and welcoming Abdul Saeed of Belgium at 34.07 will be our winner. McLean Ward is up there once again in 2nd, and Kent Farrington, ever present too, in 3rd on 35.15. Cotteswale 4th and 5th as it stands. Shane Sweetnam finishing in 6th place. There we go, the confirmed result. Abdul Saeed and Calvaro charge their way to the top finishing spot at 34.07. McLean Ward, Kimi Delmacet giving it a superb challenge at 35.01. They set the standard after Kent Farrington, who was the early target in 3rd. Cotteswale again goes their way with good prize money in 4th and 5th. 6th place to Shane Sweetnam, Erin Ballard 7th, and 8th place to Daniel Blumen. Rest down list into that jump off. Big jump off here for this welcome stake, as you might expect, and much more to come. Some good classes tomorrow afternoon as well as part of this 5-star. And then on Sunday we'll be bringing you that Longines FEI Jumping World Cup of Traverse City. Looking forward to all of that. We should have got a good idea of who's coming up, but what is coming up is our presentation. Congratulations to Abdul Saeed of Belgium.
top three from today's $117,000 CSI 5-star W welcome steak. Mr. Matt Morrissey here presenting to our top three on behalf of the Traverse City Horse Shows. And our top three riders returning mounted for the presentation this afternoon. Top three for the presentation, and it'll be third place for photos. First, congratulations to number 10 in the world, Get Farrington, on the third place finish this afternoon with the 10-year-old mare Tulane, sired by Toulon, owned by Get Farrington LLC and Rabbit Root Stables. Congratulations again to number 10 in the world, Kent Farrington, the third place finish today with the Tulane, owned by Kent Farrington LLC and Rabbit Root Stables. Second place combination up now, and it's yesterday's winning rider taking the Red Rose at this afternoon. Number 7 in the world, the USA's McLean Ward, taking second place honors with the sport for USA-owned Kimi Romance, a 10-year-old gelding by Quasimodo's. And a winner this afternoon for the 5-star welcome steak, number 62, ranked rider in the Longines World standings, Belgium's Abdel Said, best of the field today by nearly a full second over second place at 34.07 with Calvaro, an 8-year-old gelding by Cascadello, owned by 8S Trading. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able and remove cover for the Belgian national anthem in honor of today's welcome steak winner, Abdel Said. Congratulations again to Belgium's Abdel Said with Calvaro on the win today at 34.07. Double clear for a $117,000 5-star welcome steak. It's the USA's McLean Ward in second with Kimi Del Monte, and the USA's Kent Farrington third with it Tulane. Let's wrap up our show schedule for today. We are currently slated for an 8:30 start tomorrow morning with the 6-year-old Young Jumpers.
yourself. Believe in the beauty of special moments.